the young and the restless spoilers. The news of Ashley's return to Genoa had stirred up excitement among her family and fans alike, but for Alan, it was a nightmare coming to life. He had counted on her absence to carry out his scheme undetected. To the world, he was Alan, a seemingly loyal friend of the Abbott family and a devoted romantic interest to Tracy. But the truth was far darker. Alan's real name was Martin, and he was an impostor, posing as his own brother to infiltrate the lives of the Abbotts and claim his own hidden agenda. Ashley, however, wasn't easily fooled. She was one of the few people who had known both Alan and Martin well enough to recognize the subtle differences in their personalities. She had spent time with each of them separately, observing their mannerisms, styles, and unique quirks. And something in Alan's recent behavior wasn't sitting right with her. The smooth charm felt forced, and the quiet confidence that Alan used to possess seemed to have transformed into an unsettling air of secrecy. Martin's goal was simple but ambitious. By feigning affection for Tracy, he hoped to secure a place for himself within the Abbott mansion. If he could manage that, he could work his way into their family and fortune, gaining influence and wealth beyond anything he'd ever dreamed. But Jack, the head of the Abbott household, was no fool. Jack had an innate distrust of strangers, especially those who tried to worm their way into his family. As long as Jack had the final say, Martin would remain an outsider. Ashley, with her sharp instincts and relentless determination, had her own plan. She knew that if Martin was who she suspected he was, he would eventually slip up. All she had to do was wait for the right moment, watching him closely and testing him subtly. And it didn't take long for her suspicions to be confirmed. Whenever she was around, Alan became visibly uncomfortable, avoiding her gaze and excusing himself from family gatherings. His evasiveness was as clear a signal as any that he had something to hide. Determined to protect her family, Ashley began her own private investigation. She knew that to expose Martin's true identity, she needed undeniable proof. Digging into his past, she found traces of Martin's former life, a life that sharply contrasted with the refined, respectable persona he had crafted as Alan. Martin had always been an ambitious, unscrupulous man, willing to lie, manipulate, and deceive to get what he wanted. And now, he wanted the Abbott family's wealth and influence. In a moment of insight, Ashley devised a plan to expose Martin publicly, ensuring there would be no escape for him. She arranged a family gathering at the mansion and invited everyone, including Alan. Under the guise of a casual family reunion, Ashley staged subtle confrontations, testing Martin's reactions and observing his every move. With her observations, she pieced together even more evidence, clues that revealed he wasn't who he claimed to be. The final blow came when Ashley pulled Tracy aside, gently but firmly explaining her suspicions. Tracy, initially hurt and resistant to the idea that her newfound love could be an impostor, reluctantly agreed to Ashley's plan. Together, they set a trap, creating a situation that would force Martin to reveal his true self. During the gathering, Ashley brought up details from the real Alan's life that only he would know. As she subtly tested him with questions, Martin struggled to maintain his composure, his responses becoming increasingly evasive and defensive. Finally, unable to keep up the act any longer, he lashed out, dropping his calm demeanor and revealing the cold, calculating persona of Martin. It was a moment of revelation, a glimpse of the ruthless man hiding behind a mask of affection. With his secret out in the open, the Abbotts swiftly turned against him. Jack, furious at the deception and determined to protect his family, threw Martin out of the mansion, making it clear he would never again be welcome in their home. Tracy, heartbroken but resolute, confronted Martin one last time, demanding he leave her and her family alone. In the aftermath, Ashley felt a bittersweet sense of victory. She had protected her family, but at the cost of her sister's happiness and trust. Martin, disgraced and rejected, found himself alone once again, stripped of his fabricated identity and his ambitions in ruins. The Abbotts had seen through his deception, and now, the doors of Genoa were closed to him. As for Ashley, her return to Genoa was only the beginning. She had exposed Martin, but she knew that there were others with hidden agendas and dark secrets lurking beneath the surface. Determined to protect her family from any future threats, Ashley vowed to remain vigilant, prepared to reveal any mask and face any enemy, no matter how close they claimed to be.